So what I tell people is there's no overcoming. I tell people you have to dance with anxiety. I don't fall anymore when it comes because I don't see it as a failure. It's a part of you. You can't just stop everything, right? Hi, my name is Jasmine, and currently I'm a consultant and advisor for wellness businesses. So I think I come from quite a unique place. I was born and my mom happened to be a Korean diva. And so I think I was in the public side for a very long time, all throughout college, even my first job. So my first job was in Microsoft, and I was a product marketing manager, and I really loved it because I love marketing and branding. Because of this passion for wellness, I jumped in to become an entrepreneur in Korea, and I ran a mind fitness company. So, fitness classes, but for mental health. Way back when in 2017, when wellness was not even a thing in Korea. So I did that. The pandemic happened, so I had to shut it down. And then I swiftly moved into the IP and media industry, which was almost natural for me because I grew up with entertainment so much. And so at the end of my career, actually, even in IP and media, though, I was doing brand management for a wellness product that they had there because we were collaborating with different celebrities and influencers as well. So that's kind of my career everywhere. But in the middle, I never actually did just one job. I never did that. I always had second, third jobs or multiple projects. So I consulted an education company for their YouTube channel because I knew how to edit and shoot. I'm also currently the head of international affairs at a gallery, a contemporary gallery in Korea. And then also projects that I believe are valuable for me. So everywhere, but also at the same place. Yeah. I think wellness is very important, especially because your physical and mental health are the foundation for what you do. So being able to advise and empower companies that provide services and different products to help people's wellness is truly something that's very valuable. Yeah, I want to help them to thrive because I don't want them to go through what I went through. And going through the mental health issues was a very big crutch to me. And so I really felt that for people who have so much aspiration and ambition, for people who have such big dreams, I didn't want health to get in the way of that. So starting from my high school years, I had bulimia, which is a type of eating disorder. So I had that until around college. That's when my first panic attack happened. So I realized I also had anxiety, which also led to depression. And, whilst all of that, I was still able to function. So there's a term, it's called high functioning depression. And so it looks like you're doing very well in front of people, but, in the backside and behind the scenes, you're kind of suffering. So I went through that. And then after I got into an accident last year, and after that car accident, I also developed PTSD. And this all happened in my 20s. So I was able to go through huge learnings and huge growths through this type of experience, which did stop me in my career sometimes. It pushed me sometimes into my career. And that's why it's so important to me because I felt it personally. So what I tell people is there's no overcoming. I tell people you have to dance with anxiety. And what I mean by that is, how they say you got to tango with certain problems in life. I still sometimes have episodes of bulimia. I still have panic attacks. I still have nightmares. But I don't fall anymore when it comes because I don't see it as a failure. It's a part of you. You can't just stop everything, right? Very similar to Inside Out too, and I really resonated it. It's a part of who you are. And it's okay to be scary. It's okay to feel like this is like a cliff because it does. But you will always feel that way if you're at a point of making a jump. So even if you know that's there, keep it. But if you try and beyond, you're using anxiety as a way to push you forward. So I don't think it's a matter of overcoming anxiety. It's how do you deal with it? How do you dance with it? And how do you use it almost as a fuel to push you forward and say, I'm afraid, but hey, it probably means that I'm trying something new. So let me just try it out and see what happens. It's like runner's high. I think it's getting in the zone, being in the flow, loving your work, feeling accomplished, feeling satisfied, feeling like you gave value to something, and it really gives you something that's beyond just everyday tasks. I think I'd have to go back to my entrepreneur years, back when I was running Knockout. And I think what was so amazing was the mission of the whole company was to change one life at a time, right, through wellness. And when you see someone walk into the program, not very confident with who they are, not very comfortable in their own skin, not mentally too well because of anxiety and whatnot, when they come in with that, and then throughout the process by week 2, they're opening up, they're crying, they're laughing, and by week 3, week 4, they come out and you can see in their faces, you can actually feel that they feel so much more comfortable in their skin, and so almost to the extent where they're starting to like themselves and start to love themselves. When I saw that, and when I saw those people's eyes twinkle, I think that was a moment where I felt like I was doing work that was truly impactful. And so I think that really I think my runner's high, my worker's high, extends beyond just one moment. It was a process, and it accumulated just week by week. I think knowledge can be learned very quickly if you put in the hours and efforts, almost like studying, because, history, art, all of these, or business even, strategy, you can look at all these case studies and try to make yourself knowledgeable about it, right? So you're at a coffee table and someone asks you, hey, what do you think about this crisis? And you can tell them, I think X, Y, Z, because you studied it and you got it. But wisdom, I think, is a little bit different, because I think wisdom comes from experience. I think that if you do not go through certain experiences, or you don't have deep conversations with people who already have gone through certain things, you don't have that oomph and that grounding in the wisdom. And that's why I respect people who have been in the business for a very long time, or just people who've lived on this earth for longer than me, because I believe they have experiences that I have not yet experienced. So I think that's the difference.
How does it that you have?
You have to cross the border of comfort. Everyone says that, right? So you need to get out of your comfort zone, because that's the only time that you'll fail. And I think failure is very important to learning and growing, because only through mistakes will you learn if something is better, or if some strategy did not work, or if something did. And I was always afraid of failure. My first biggest failure was shutting down my business. And I think I ran away from it for very long, trying to keep myself busy, working so many different jobs, flying everywhere. But at a certain time, you just have to accept that this is a part of life. And you try things, and sometimes it doesn't work out. You try things, sometimes it does. And I think those are very quality experiences. And going back to what you said about emotions, I think if you have experiences that tap on your deepest emotions, that's when you see a lot of growth. Yeah. I don't think I'm in the position right now to give any advice to anyone, but to share a couple of things that I learned is you don't have to be afraid of not following the definitions of success that society has made. And some definitions are great, and you might want to do that. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I thought I wanted to be a C-level executive at a high-growth company. But I realized my health state, how I work, the rhythm of how I work just didn't align with that. And so I needed to find my own way. And it was a very scary journey, but I think that when you're able to find your own journey where you can go at your own pace, you probably will see yourself grow and thrive even more than you ever thought. So you can take the road untaken, or you can take a more traditional route. Both are fine, but remember that you are your own person, so you don't have to follow anyone. You don't have to mimic someone's journey. You can find your own and take your time. I think that's what I have learned in my 20s.